For those of you on the Zoom, I guess, am I on there? Those of you on the Zoom, we hope that you do have an Eicha in your hand. Otherwise, you just to listen along with us as we read the King. Prophetically, David Hamela. Imagine what the experience of going to exile would be. These David's words. On the road Bavel, on the waters of Babylon. There we sat, we wept, we remembered Zion. How can we sing the songs of Zion? Alad Masnechar in a foreign land. But yet we do, they understood we should sing the wailing of Zion and hopefully the songs of Zion with our hearts open to them. In that same paragraph, we remind ourselves that we should never ever allow ourselves to forget Jerusalem. We'll begin with those words in song, and then Yerushalayim Ircha, which is if you have the Koran Machzor, the gray one, so keynote book, it's Yerushalayim Ircha, page 25. We'll go to there, and then we'll gather ourselves for Al Eila. Imesh kafech Yerushalayim Tisha Yehini Imesh kafech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yehini Tidebak Lashoni Yes, Yerushalayim. Simcha siyai imam. As Yerushalayim, Rosh Simcha Sim, Yerushalayim, Ircha. Merachamim tashuv besishkon besocha kasher dibarta besishkon besocha kasher dibarta. Bnei Osam Bekam Ro Beinu Binyan Rola Vechi Say David David I meira lesokatachin ayayu bnei osabeka robo Bineyam Kolam V'chisei David David Adecha Hai Meira Lesokata. The 16th Pasuk Tet Zayin, the first chapter of Eicha. Alei le'ani bochia, ani bochia. 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 Yodama Mimani Menachem Meshiv Nafshi Yom Dama I kiracha mimani menachem meshiv nafshi. Rav Yaakov Meidan made a simple offered it a simple insight. In Hebrew, we want to ask the question how. The word that we use is eich. Eich. How was your day? How are things going? How do you turn this on? Eich. So it's a parag word, he said. It's a parag word. The word Eicha is not a parag word. Eicha also asks how. But Eicha asks, how is it so? How could it come to be? Eiko. How is it this? It shouldn't be this way. It began when God said to Adam in the Garden of Eden, Eicha, spelled this way as well. Why are you hiding? How did this happen? How'd you go off course so quickly? Eicha, where are you? But no, where are you? How have you not found? How could it be? And that's what this book of Kinot, otherwise referred to as Eicha, that's how it begins. Second chapter as well. It shouldn't be this way. We are God's people. God has brought us to the glorious land of Israel, and yet it lies in ruins. People suffer as they do. And every time we read these words in a context which doesn't only look at the past, but also looks at our present, we ask this question in another way. And sometimes with the dark, gloomy clouds of oppressors from the outside. How could it be that this continues? How could it be bring us back to Zion, and yet there are those who want to drive us into the sea. And this year we asked the question differently. Eicha, how can we be in a situation where just days before Tisha B'Av, Israeli society is in upheaval, where people believe strongly in their opinions and in their positions, who want to see them accomplished, and those who wanted to protect them from being accomplished, right? Where they're unable, incapable of arriving at some shared outcome. Or when you see what's going to happen, and you push through anyway, and it ruptures with the society which were already there, all those fabrics, the fabric is already torn. How can we bring ourselves to this point where everyone is like this, where we're not figuring out a way to solve the problems we need to solve together? So when I read Eicha this evening, that's what I feel, and perhaps others do too. Without pointing blame at anyone, we point blame at all for the reality. It shouldn't be this way. How could it come to this? God brought us back to Israel. We are not there, and we're not figuring out how to live together ourselves. Part of Eicha is to lament. Part of Eicha is an opportunity to reflect, an opportunity to pray as well. And that's what we shall do this evening and throughout Tisha B'Av. Eicha yashva badad ha'ir rabas yam v'yisak almana rabasi bagoyim sarasi b'medinos Lamas, Acho Sibke, Laila, Vidimasa Alecheya, Ein Lamenachem, Mikolo Haveha, Doreha Bagduva, Hayula, Oyevim, Nelsa, Yehuda, Meoni, Merobavoda, He Yashva Bagoyim, Lo Matzah, Mahanoach. All road hesigu ha ben hamitzarim. Darchei Tzion abilos mi beliba a moed kol she'arash omimim kohanan enachim besulos anugos v'himar la. Hayu tzarel lerosh oyveh hashalu ki Adonai hoga al rov pisha'eha. Hushevi lifnei tzar, vayetzemi basion kol hadara, hayu sareha, kayalim lo matzu mir'eh, vayelchu v'lo choach lifnei rodev. Zachra Yerushalayim, Yemei Onya umerudeha, kol malchamudeha, Asher hayu mimei kedem, Hinefol ama bi'adatzar, Ve'ein ozer la, Ra'u atzarim, Mesachaku amishpateha, Chet chata Yerushalayim, Al kein lenida hayasa, Lo mechavdeha hiziluha, Kira'u ervasa, Gam hinenacha abatasha v'chor tumasa beshuleha lo zachra acharisa vateired pilaim ein menachem la Rei Adonai es ani hihigdil oyev yado parasar Al kol machamadeha kiratza goyim ba'u mikdasha asher tzivisa lo yavo v'kahalach Oman enachim v'akshim lechem nasnu machamadehem v'yochel hashib nafesh Hey Adonai v'habita ki hayisi zolela lo aleichem Kol aredarecha bitu uru Im yesh machov kemach ovi, asher ola ali, asher hoga Adonai b'yom acharon apo, mimarom shalach esh be'at Mosai ba'yerdena. Haras reses l'raglai heshivani achor, nesanani shomema, kol hayom daba. Niskar ol pishai beyado yistargu alu al tavari shil koki nesanani Adonai bidei luol chalkum sila kol birai Adonai bekirbi karalai moe lispor bachurai gas darach Adonai libesulas bas Yehuda Aleile ani vochia. Eini yardamayim ki rachak mimeni menachem eshiv nafshi hayu banai shomemim ki gavar oyev chesat Zion biyadeha ein menachem la Siva Adonai liYaakov Svivam Sarav Haisa Yerushalayim Linida Beinehem Tzadiku Adonai Kifihu Marisi Shimuna Chol Amim Hamim Uru Machovi V'Sulasai Vachurai Halchu Bashevi Karasi limahavai hemarimuni. Kohanai zukenai ba'ir gavau. Kibikshu ochel lamo b'yashivu es nafsham. Re Adonai kitzar li me'ai chamar maru. Nepach libi bekir bi kimaro maharisi. Michutz shiklacherev abayis kamaves. Shamu ki nenachani, ein menachem li kol oyevai. Shamu rasi sasu ki ata asisa. Hevesa yom karasa v'yiyu chamoni. Tavo charasam lefanecha ve'ole olamo. Kasher ola al tali al kol shai. Kirabos an kosai v'libi davai.
Eicha, Yair v'yapo Adonai es bastion, hishlich mishamayim eretz tiferes Yisrael. Azachar hadam aglav b'yom apo, Hila Adonai lo chama. Eis kol nos Yaakov, Loras beroso. B'tzrei vas Yuda higia loretz, Hilel mamlacha v'Yisrael. Vada v'choria, Karen Yisrael, Heshiv achor, Yimino mipnei oyev, Hayivar b'Yaakov keish lahava achlos aviv, Dorach kashto keoyev, Nitzav Yimino ketzar, Hayaharog, Kol machamadei yayin, Ohel bastion, shafach kaesh chamaso. Vaya Adonai, koyev bila Yisrael, bila kol armnosel, shiches bivtzarav. Vayerev v'vas Yehuda, tanya v'aniya. Hayachmos kagan suko, shiches mawado. Shikach Adonai, v'tzion noed b'shabas, vayinat b'zam, apo melech b'choein. Sanach Adonai, Mizbachon yer mikdasho, Iskir biadoye, Komos, Amnosel, Oh, Nasnu bebeis Adonai, Ki Yomoed, Sashav Adonai, Lehashlis, Chomas Bastion, Latakov, Lo Heshiv Yadom Yibaleya, Leavel Chel Bechoma, Yaakov, Umlo, Tavu, Aretz Sharai, Badishibar, Berichel, Malka v'Sorel b'Agayim ein Torah. Am Neviah lo matzu chazon me Adonai. Yeshvu l'Aretz yidmu ziknei Vastion. Helu afar al rosham chagru sahakim. Horidu l'Aretz Roshan, Bisulos, Yerushalayim, Admos, Einai, Chamo, Marumei, Ishpach, Laaretz, Kvedi, Ashever, Basami, Meate, Polel, Vionek, Yerchavos, Kiria, Mimosam, Yomru, Aye, Dagon, Vayayin, Atvam, Kefalo, Berchavosir, Mishtapech, Nafsham, Elchek, Imosam, Ha'idei, Adam Eloch, Abbas Yerushalayim, Ma Ashvelach Vanachamech, Besulas Bastion, Igadol Kayam, Shivrech Mir Palach, Iviyayich, Tazulach, Shava B'Safel, V'lo Gilu Al Avonech Lashiv, Shvusech, Vayachazulach, Masot Shav, Umadufim, Saku alayich kapayim kol over derech. Sharku vayani rosham albas Yerushalayim. Hazo soyer. Shiomru klilas yofim asos l'chol harech. Atzu alayich piyem kol oyvayich. Sharku vayachar kushein amru bilanu. Zehayom shekivinu matzon rayinu. Asa Adonai Asher Zaman. Pizza Raso Asher Tiva me Mekadem. Paras Velo Chamal. Bisamach Alayich Oye Berim Karen Sarayich. Tzach Libam El Adonai. Chomas Bastion. Oridi Chanach Al Dima. Yomam Valayla. Atitni Fugas Lach. Al Tidom Vaseinech. Umi, Auni Valai, Lira, Shashperos, Shikri, Hamai, Bibech, Hochach, Menei Adonai, Se, Elav Kapayich, Al Nefesh Olayich, Hatufim Bara, Verosh Kol Chutzos, Rei Adonai, Vehabito, Limi Allah Takal, Im Tochal no Nashim Piriam Olay Tipufim, Im Yehareg Bimikdash Adonai, Kohen Avim, Shachvut Fretz Futzot Nar Vizikain, Sulosai Vachorai Nafu Echorem, Orakta Biom Apechat Avachta Lof Malta, Tikra. V'yom oed meburai misaviv lo haya v'yom Adonai palit v'sarid asher tipachti v'rivisi oivi tefila.
Shifting away from the experience of Yerushalayim, the third chapter is the story of the Mekonen of Yirmiyahu, speaking for himself, in certain ways witness, subject to the destruction. He is both himself here and the nation of Israel as well. And the messenger of the nation laments it. He wails that God has hidden himself from you. Yet even at the point of despair, he recognizes that the sufferings of the nation would come to wipe out the depth of their sins. And expresses the faith in the process of repentance, and that God will return to the true penitent.
Ani hageber ani v'shevet evrato, otina hag v'yola choshech v'loor, v'yashuv v'yafoch yado kol hayom, v'la v'sari v'ori shibar atzmotai, pana alai v'yakav rosh utla, v'machashakim hoshivani kimete olam. Yadar badi v'lo yitzei hichbir nefashti Ban kiezak v'yashavea satam tvilati Yadar drachai begazid nitivotai ba Dovorev huli ari b'mistarim Drachai sarer b'yifashcheni Samani shomem Ach kashov yatziveni kimatara lachetz Hevi b'chilyotai B'nei ashpato, hayiti zchok l'chol ami, niginatam kol hayom, nispiani bamramim, hirvani lana. Vaya grace bechatzat shinai, hichbishani ba'efer, Atiznach mishalom nashi nashiti tova. Laumar abad nitzchi v'tochalti me Adonai. Zechar oni umrudi la'ana barosh. Zachor tizkor v'tashoach alai nashi. Zot ashiv el libi al kenochi. Chasdei Adonai kilo tamnu, kilo chalu rachamav. Chadashim labikarim, Rabbi munatecha. Shofti Adonai amra nafshi, al kino chilon. Tov Adonai likobav, lenefesh tidrashenu. Tov yachil bidumam, litshuat Adonai. Tov lagever kiyasa'ol binurav. Yeshe badad vidom kinata lalav. Yitem befar piu ulayesh tikva. Yitem lamakeu lechi yispa becherpa. Kilo yiznach leolam Adonai. Kim hoga v'richam kiro chasadav. Kilo inami libo yaget b'nei ish. V'dakei tachad raglav kol asirei haaretz. Latov mishpat gaber neged pnei elyon. Lavet adam beribo Adonai lo ra. Mize amar vatei Adonai lo tziva. Mipi elyon lo tetzei harot be'atov. Ma'itonen adam chai kever al chatav. Nach besader chenu v'nach kora v'nashubad Adonai. Nisa levavenu al kapayim el bashamayim. Nachnu fashanu marinu atalo salachta. Sakota ba'apatir defenu harakta lo chamalta. Sakota benan lach me'avor tfilah. Safiu ma'ot tisimenu b'ker hamim. Patzu aleinu fihem kol oivenu. Pachad v'pachad haya lanu hased hashed b'ashaver. Algi mayim tiradeni asher batami. Eini nigra v'lo tidme mi ein hapugot. Ad yashki v'yirei Adonai mishamayim. Eini olal nafshi mikol v'notiri. So tzaduni katzipor oivai chinam. Samitu bavor chayai v'yadu eben bi. Safumayim aroshi amarti nigzarti. Karati shimcha Adonai mibor tachtiot. Foli shamata al talemot lecha l'ravchati l'shabati. Karafta biyom ekreka amarta al tira. Rav Adonai rivi nafshi gal tachayai. Right Adonai abtati shofta mishpati. Ra'ita kol nikmatam kol machshavotam li. Shamata cherpatam Adonai kol machshavotam alai. Siftei kamai v'hegyonam alai kol hayom. Shivtam v'kimatam habita ani manginatam. Tashiv lehem gemul Adonai kimaseh yedehem. Tipen lehem miginat lev talatecha lehem. Tirdof ba'af b'tashmidem mitachat shmei Adonai.
Chapter 4 brings us back to Yerushalayim in much more explicit detail of the suffering begun in chapter 2, and its bewilderment by the upheaval of the world of the nation. But it concludes with a promise, two promises, that those who have detested Zion will face the punishment and the ultimate redemption of Zion.
Eicha yuam zahav yishne akefem hatov yistapech navnei kodesh v'rosh kol chutzov B'nei Tzion hayikarim hamasulayim b'apaz Eicha nechshavu l'nivlei cheres maseh yedei yotzer Gam tanim Chalzu shad heiniku gurehen Badami liachzar Kieni bamidbar Gavak lishon yonei El chiko batsama Olalim shalu lechem Kores ein lohem האוכלים למעדנים, נשמו בחוצות. האמונים עלי תולו, חיבקו עטפתו. ויגדל עוון בדמים, מחטאת סדום. הפוכה כמו רגו, ולא פגעו בו ידיים. זרקו נזירה משלג, צחו מחלב. אדמו עצם מפנינים, ספיר גזרתם. פשח משחור תרם, לא נקראו בחוצות. צפד אורם על עצמם, יבש היה חיים. טובים היו חלי חרב, וחלי רע. שהם יעזבו מדוכרים, יקנו בו צעדי. ידי נשים רחמניות, בישלו ילדיהם. היו לברו עולמו, בשבר בת עמי. אילו אדוני את חמתו, שפך ארון אפו. ויצא דש בציון, ותאכל יסודותיו. לא האמינו מלכי ארץ, וכל יושבי תבל. כי יבוא צר ואויב בשערי ירושלים. מחטאות נביאו, עוונות כהנהו, השוכבים בקרבו, דם צדיקים. נאו עברים בחוצות, וגלו באדם, ולא יוכלו יגעו בלבושיהם. צורו טמא, ברולם. סורו אל תיגעו, כי נצו גם נעו. אמרו בגויים לא יוסיפו לגור. בני אדוני תוקם, לא יוסיף להביטם. בני כהנים לא נשאו, וזקנים לא חננו. עודנו תכלנו עינינו, אל עזרתנו הבל. בציפייתנו ציפינו, אל גוי יושיע. צעדו צעדינו, מלאכת ברחובותינו. קרב קצנו, מלאו ימינו, כבת קצנו. חלים היו רודפים, מנשרי שמיים. על ההרים דלקונו, במדבר אבו לנו. רוח אפינו, משיח אדוני, נלכד בשחיתותם. אשר אמרנו, בצילו נחיה בגויים. שישי ושמחי בת אדום, יושבת בארץ לוץ. גם עלייך תעבור כוס, תשכרי ותתערי. תם עוונך בת ציון, לא יוסיף להגלותך. פקד עוונך בת אדום, גילה חטאותיי.
The last and final chapter depicts those who survive, the survivors of the Korban witness. Stare and see what the mountain of God in ruins. A bit of accusation is present, but it concludes yet with a plea to God that He bring us back to Him. The powerful penultimate words of the chapter: we return for our Yemenu Kekedem, the days of old, to be able to return to them soon in our days.
Zechor Adonai me'ayalanu, habita et charpatenu, nachalatenu nefcha lizarim, atenu lenachrim. Yitomim hayinu beinav, imotenu ka'almano, Meimenu b'chesef shatinu, Eitzeinu b'mchir yavo, Al tzavarenu nirdafnu, Yaganu v'lo nachlanu, Mitzrayim natanu yad, Ashur lispoa lachem. Avotenu chatu v'einam, Anachnu avotenu saval, Avadim ashlubanu, Horei yadam, Benavshenu navilachmenu, B'nei cherev hamidbar, Oreinu kitanu nichmaru, B'tei zalafot ra'av, Nashim b'tzion inu, B'tulot Har Yehuda, Sarim b'yadam nitu, B'nei zekenim lo nedar, Bachurim techon nasa'u, U'ne'arim ha'etz kashavu, Zekenim isha shavatu, Bachurim min ginatam, Davat mesos libenu, Nepa lievo b'choleinu, Nafla tek roshenu, Oina lanu kikatan, Alze hayad avelibenu, Al elech hashvu eineinu, Al hartiyom sheshamein, Shualim hilchubam, Ata Adonai le'olam keishem, Nitzacha ledor v'ador, Lama lanetza tishkachenu, Tazvenu liorech yami. Beno melech havin ashuva, Kadesh amenu, Keker. Yimos nastanu, Katzavta aleinu, Admel.
Hashivenu Adonai Elecha ben Ashuva Kadesh Yameinu.
Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh Yameinu.
Before Adonai Mehayalanu, Oy Habitu Eretz Kevaseinu, Oy Mehayalanu, Nachlasenu Nepchal Zarim, Oy Batenu Lenachrim, Oy Mehayalanu, Yisomim Hayinu Veinav, Oy Vimosenu Mekanos Bechodeshav, Oy Mehayalanu, Meheimenu Bechesef Shasinu, Oy Kinisu chamayim basinu, oy mehayalanu, al tzavarenu nerdafnu, oy kisinas chinam radafnu, oy mehayalanu, Mitzrayim nasanu yad, oy v'ashur tzadnu ketzayad, oy mehayalanu, avosenu chatu veinam, oy v'anachnu sovim esavonam, oy mehayalanu, avadim mashlu banu, oy kishiluach avadim bitam. Oy mehayalanu b'nafshenu navilachmeinu, oy kikatzapnu me'ani yadeinu, oy mehayalanu oreinu kisanur nichmaru, oy kichvodam v'kalon himiru, oy mehayalanu nashim b'tzion inu, oy ki Eishes ishtimu v'zanu, oy mehayalanu Sarim yadam nisalu, oy kigzelas he'ani chamsu v'gazlu, oy mehayalanu. Bachurim techon asau, oy kibebesonan insau, oy mehayalanu. Zekeni mishar shavasu, oy ki mishpat yasom v'amana yibesu, oy mehayalanu. Shavas mesosi beinu, oy ki nitmivtalu olei regaleinu, oy mehayalanu. Nafla terzoshenu, oy ki nisraf beis mikdashenu, oy mehayalanu. Al zeh hayada velibe. oy. Kitachavod beis mayam abayenu oy mehayalanu. Al har Tzion sheshamein oy. Kinitan alav shikus meshamein oy mehayalanu. Atadon of the shade is a chal dor. I'm not going to tell you about Yamin. Mashim and Achim Shuba Kadeshim and Kedem Kimos Mesano Kazabalina Abod. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Ben Shuba Kadesha Meinu Kedem. Page 57, the third keynote. Remind ourselves, Belel Zeh Yikayun, Banai, that this is the night of weeping. We're told that it was this night in the desert. Timetable lays it out that way, that the spies had come back from Israel and shared their port, and the Jews cried in their wept in their tents about not wanting to have the land of Israel. And God says, I'll give you what to weep for. This became the night of weeping. Belel that the Alel Mar Aniyan Echdeles, we base of Via Bachayim Mabdeles, we had Sami base of Niskar Hadeles, Behalcha Bishivya Bachol Pen Echeles, Yom Shulcha Vieshbo Eres Bocheles, Veishim Gacheles Yatsami Sadunoi. Belehel Zeh Hagagal Si Baba Chova Bishon Gam Sheni Besi Necharabba Lo Ruchama Basa Shoveva Shkasami Rosh Ves Visnat Tzavav Shulchani Besova Gam Nashtat Tova Gdola Hasina Me'esa Shera Heva Vamunus Kayus Kishan Ezava Batumitz Yona Zavani Adonai. Belel Zeh Kadarti V'Chashu Amoros Uchaban Meidash Beis Midashi Kachi Betul Mishmaros Belel Zeh Sabuni Afafuni Saros V'Gam Karam Moed V'Din Chamesh Zeros V'Chichinam Bachu V'Nichbala Doros Yanki Asasi Bameis Adonai. Belehel Zeh Eruvo Chamesh Me'oraos Gazar Olavos Before Peros V'Dabtu Saros Mitzeros V'Gam Raos Yom Mufan Haya Bifko Figaos, Hamid Haye behaving calls of Baos, Kum, Zeh Hayom Asher Amar Adonai, Belel Zayikayun, Vieldi Tubanai. Last keynote number 5 imagines what all the celestial spheres and others how they reacted and what they could or could not do and experience as the temple burned and the enemy plundered. Adam Bachim Mitzvah Mitzvah Mishalayim, Tarakim Mitzvah Mitzvah Mishalayim, Ad Bachat Necharav Mikdash, V'Masenu Yisra Peichal, V'Eretz Kubarla Kashra Mispaid, Savasha Mayna Sukina, Agam Bachu B'Merer, Shiftei Yaakov, Diglei Yishur Chafu Rosham, Hetiru Avos Ve'el Koloshomeya, Zagu Banim Lo Anav, V'Tol Hator Nishma B'Marav, Zera Kodosav Shusakim, Mutzvashaman Kamhaim, Sakim Sam Susam, Chashaka Shemes Ve'Yareach Kadar, Mazalosas Bunakam, Tale Rishon Bacha B'Mar Nefesh, Al Kikvasav, Yilala Ishmir Shor Bamromim, Kal Savarek Nunidaf Nikulanu, Kochab Tomim Nirachalu. Idamach Kinishpach Tamayim Le'eretz Vacation Pol Sartan Isalach Nipnei Tzama Marom Nibas Mikol Arye Kishaga Sinalol Salam Marom Nehergu Basulos V'Gam Bachurim Al Kem Shulakat Rapanas He bade those 9 Vikesh Techina Nifarlam Amavis Mechayim Akrab Lovash Pachad Urada Kirivarav Servicepatan Sovereign Algin Maim Horai Hiridu Dimab Kanachal Kios Bakeshes Bonitan Lanu Tafu Maim Al Roshenu Limalechi Kenu Yabesh Keranu Kabam Lonis Kabal Di Pasaksi Irchatasenu Rachamanios Bishlu Yaldehen Umazal Takim Heltimenav Shachach Nishib Shabbas Vilibos Shavavim Shadai Shikach Kol Tzikosenu Tekane Litzion Kina Gedola V'Sayir Rabasi Amamor Terachem Rise Lakim Tzion Kasher Amarta V'Shacharana Kasher Imarta V'Mahen Yeshua V'Sachish Geula V'Tashuv V'Shalan V'Rachamim Rabim V'Zemiyacha The thank Paul Martin shot because Schneider Rachamim, JC Banabanu, I quote, I'm hit how you shall line in MR, oh, for Caroline Mark, Martin, I suppose, oh, this is the Senna, Arai, you told me, Paladin, oh, the Sion, oh, shall line, they mark me, Paladin, Sion, you sam, Paul for Roseha, we have to be barke, Marasaki, Ganadunai, Sasson, the Simsai, Matsiba, Toda, the calls in Ra. It's a reminder about the practices of Tisha B'Av. Along with not eating and drinking, we don't bathe ourselves, wash ourselves, except for tomorrow morning when you wake. When you wake, you can use the wash the telat and your dime up to your knuckle. You need to wipe your face. If your hands are otherwise filthy, you're allowed to clean them properly. You should always know that. And especially also if you are concerned that you are in contact with people who might be carrying COVID or other things, to be extra careful about all the other things you need to be conscious of. We also don't wear leather, as you know, and nor engage in relations. One last thing we remind ourselves is that it's not a time for greetings. I look around the room, some people I haven't seen in some time. We'll just give each other loving nods, but recognize it's not the time to extend the greetings. Tomorrow morning we daven at 2 Minyanim, 6:15 in the morning. Be downstairs, I think. This is too crowded to come up here. Otherwise, 8:30 is the main meeting with explanatory keynote. Midday is 1:01. You rise from low chairs and go about some other business that you might need to go about. Otherwise, our focus is on the needs of the thoughts of the Jewish people. And the Furban, in the afternoon, there'll be some programming for kids and a chesed program for packing food and delivery. What time is that? Look at your announcements.
3:30.
We think 3:30, and then Hollison's filling it in on the 10 to 7 in the evening. Fast ends at 8:51. Easy, meaningful fast.